This show is for women who train harder, think bigger, and live bolder. Here, we don't level up. We set the standard. Strength, strategy, success. I'm Kattie Fleece. Welcome to The Smoke Show. There is just something about a strong, powerful, confident woman, isn't there? Like, we feel like frauds a lot of the times, though, because our brains are wired to protect. They're literally wired to make you doubt yourself in new situations. High achieving women, I think, get hit harder because we face both perfectionism and external pressure, right? A lot of times, we have really high standards. So some examples would be high achieving women are more likely to have their leadership decisions scrutinized because they're a woman. They spend way more time preparing responses because they gotta say the perfect thing the perfect way. They feel pressure to maintain perfect appearance standards, wardrobe, grooming, weight, that a lot of times male colleagues don't necessarily face. They hesitate to delegate tasks because they fear that, some errors could reflect severely on them. And they try to master every aspect of their business to earn the right to lead. They often spend a significant amount of mental energy crafting their communication style because they don't want to be viewed as bossy or a bitch. That voice in your head saying you don't belong here, let me tell you this, it is not truth. It's just an overprotective brain. So let's talk about how to catch your brain in the act, like transforming that self-doubt into confidence. So let's start here. First of all, if you want to change the way you feel about yourself, you have to start by changing the way you talk to yourself. So the first step is to learn to recognize when that voice of self-doubt starts talking, right? It starts to creep in. Because most women don't even realize how often they're actually bullying themselves in their own heads. The fear, the hesitation, the, who do you think you are voice. It becomes so normal that we actually stop noticing it. Now, the goal is not to beat yourself up for having those thoughts because we're human, they're gonna happen. But the goal is to simply catch your brain in the act, like clock it, notice it. And when you hear it say things like, I'm not good enough, I'm not ready, I'm not qualified, I'm not whatever, like that's your signal. You've just caught your brain in the act, okay? And it's trying to rob you of your power. So clock it. The second thing is to shift your language immediately. So instead of saying, I'm not qualified, you could say, I'm still learning. Instead of saying, I don't know what I'm doing, say, I'm still figuring it out. Tiny little shifts in language like that equals massive shifts in your identity over time. Because the truth is, like, whatever you tell yourself repeatedly, you are going to eventually believe that about yourself. The third thing, understand how beliefs are built. Self-talk is like carving a path in your brain. At first, it's conscious, right? You have to intentionally redirect yourself. But eventually those new words, those new affirmations, they become your autopilot. What started as I'm still learning eventually becomes I'm a fast learner. What started as, I'm figuring it out eventually becomes I'm a woman who finds a way no matter what. Your brain becomes what you feed it, and your life will follow. The fourth thing, set up, this might sound corny, but just go with me here, okay? Set up real world, like pattern interruptions. Don't just leave it to willpower, okay? Because willpower is unreliable. We all know this. Structure beats willpower. But one simple thing that you could do is simply setting a reminder on your phone. There's even apps that you don't even have to set an alarm on your phone. There's apps for this type of thing, okay? But essentially, you're setting that alarm that pops up randomly during your day and asks, what would you do right now if you weren't afraid? Or something of that nature, okay? This forces you to stop, to break the old pattern, and to check in on yourself. Like, would you send the email? Would you speak up? Would you make the call? Would you launch the thing? Would you sign up for the program? Look, confidence is not a trait that you're born with. It's a habit that you build one teeny tiny decision at a time. It's something that you develop. All right, now let's talk about body language hacks, all right? Body language hacks that actually work, okay? The first one is to take up physical space. Stop shrinking yourself at, boardroom tables. Like, sit with good posture, put your materials on the table. Like, take up space. Also, this one gets me every time. Make freaking eye contact. Stop looking down at your phone when people are trying to talk to you. Walk in that room like you fucking own the room. Walk with purpose, shoulders back, deliberate pace, like make eye contact. Slow down your speech, lower your vocal tone when making important points. Don't just rush through it all. Like, girlfriend, you have something important to say, and everybody in that room needs to hear it from you. Here's a good one. Introduce yourself with a firm handshake. None of that like, oh, hi. Like, I can always tell what someone is like by how they shake my hand. Like, no joke. Avoid shrinking behaviors like crossed arms, hunched shoulders. Again, like I said, looking down at your phone, not making eye contact. So those are just some ways that you can correct your body language, okay? And that is going to, over time, help you build your confidence. Hey, it's Kattie Fleece, head of the female division of Superhuman and your host here on Smoke Show. Listen, if you've been waiting for a sign to go after your strongest, fittest, hottest body, this is it. And I'm here to tell you, you don't need anyone else's permission. It's time to claim the body and the life you deserve. Go to smokeshowbody.com and take the first step toward building the ultimate version of you. Now back to the show. Now, another thing is building what I like to call your evidence bank, okay? You can keep a dedicated wins folder in your email, on your phone. Like, I personally keep albums on my phone, and these have things like client testimonials, screenshots of client wins, like maybe, messages they have sent us, before and after photos. I don't even know how many albums now I have on my phone of before and after photos of our clients. We also have a designated Slack channel that we house all of our client wins. Like, it is the most magical thing. That is one of my favorite things to do every single morning, is get into that Slack channel and just read through all of the client wins, whether it's, transformation photos or, like I said, screenshots of a message they sent their coach, whatever. But document compliments and positive feedback immediately. You know why? Because your brain is going to try to forget them. Okay, so now that we covered the evidence bank, let's talk about the language that you use about yourself, because here's the brutal truth. Your words are building your identity every second of every day. So every time you say, I'm so bad at this, or, I'm just lucky, or I'm not really an expert, you're literally programming your brain to believe that you're small, to believe that you're unworthy, to believe that you're unsure. And guess what? If you keep saying it, like I said before, you're going to keep showing up like it's true. So you've got to start speaking about yourself like the woman that you're becoming, not the one that you're trying to leave behind. You say, I am valuable. I know my shit. I am a big freaking deal. I am capable. I am capable of handling this challenge. I am capable of doing this thing. I am capable of achieving this goal. I have the skills needed to succeed. I trust my ability to figure things out. And here's the thing, even if you don't feel 100% there yet, you gotta speak it first. You gotta speak it first, and then your reality will catch up. Now, listen closely. You cannot speak with authority if you're still hiding behind weak, unapologetic language. Let me give you some examples, all right? Stop saying the word just, okay? Like, I just wanted to ask. Like, no, stop. Here's a good one. This one drives me freaking nuts. Stop saying sorry before you say a sentence when you didn't even do anything wrong. Stop saying, like, I think maybe, or I'm not sure, but, maybe. Like, just stop. Be sure of yourself. Be confident in what you're saying. Be confident in your idea and who you're presenting it to. Because every time you soften your language, you shrink your power. You don't just have an idea. You have an idea, right? You don't kind of know what you're doing. You know what you're freaking doing. Own it. Even if at first your voice shakes, even if you're just figuring it out as you go. Because here's the deal. The world reflects back the energy that you project. If you feel like shit, if you're unhappy, if you're miserable, if you're always second guessing yourself, if you're constantly trash talking to yourself inside your own head, do you really think you're going to show up like a complete boss? Do you really think people are going to trust your leadership, your voice, your brand? They won't. They won't. Why? Because energy doesn't lie. Energy doesn't lie. And you cannot fake confidence if your inner dialogue is destroying you. Confidence is an inside job that the outside world can't help but notice. So speak to yourself like the woman who's already won. And then go out and act like it's inevitable. Like there's no other option. It's gonna happen. You are that woman. Now let's talk about leaving an impression. If you want to walk into rooms and you want heads to turn because there is just like this undeniable energy, this undeniable aura about you, if you want people to be like, damn, she's got her shit together. If you want people to be like, that woman is a powerhouse. You know that feeling. Like if you want to feel that, then you've got to actually believe it about yourself first. So before I end this, I want to say this. Confidence does not have to be felt to be displayed. You got to start with the external behaviors, and your inner confidence will eventually follow. This is a learned skill, just like I said in the beginning. When you start acting with confidence, when you start reminding yourself that you're a BFD, you're eventually going to start genuinely believing it. So go out there and be the smoke show you are. See you on the next episode. Stay strong, stay strategic, stay unapologetic. This is Smoke Show.